Whether you are in sales, marketing, a small business owner trying to build something beautiful, or just a person looking to take greater control of your personal development and behavior, this episode, this podcast is for you. Eyes Wide starts now. In this first episode, we will be exploring the power of belief, how it provides hope, healing, the overcoming of challenges, negatives into positives, and how it provides you with the internal drive to power you through your personal and professional journeys. So who am I? Why listen? Well, along with the content I share and the information I provide, I'll be interweaving in some personal stories, both good and bad, that have brought me to where I am today, with the opportunity to spend some time with each of you. Most recently, I was a commercial officer and sales leader of a public medtech company. There I recruited, built, strategized, developed, scaled, and helped an organization and the individuals involved reimagine what was possible. Before then, I have been in sales, or as I prefer to call it, influencing all of my adult life. My mom and dad would likely tell you that I've had a line of shit to try and get people to see things my way well before I even knew how to read. And they're probably right. Now, I won't bore you with too many more details right now, but I have been very fortunate with the opportunities and experiences my parents and God have provided for me. I grew up in New York, chased down some dreams in Hollywood, and learned along the way to fully embrace every experience, every cause for a smile, every reason for a scar. And through it all, I've just worked to maintain this belief that I was continuing along my path to fulfilling my purpose. As we dive into this idea of belief, I wanted to present a quote from Martin Luther King, where he states that faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Now, this quote captures the essence of belief in action, and it's a great starting point for this podcast. It highlights that belief is not just about hoping for a better future, but having the courage to move forward even when the path isn't clear. This concept is pivotal in overcoming obstacles, as it requires us to trust in our ability to achieve our goals despite the unknowns. Now, let's face it. You don't have a crystal ball, but I will tell you this because I am a believer. I know how my story ends, and I want each of you to have this sense of freedom and power that comes along with knowing how your story ends. Your last few pages are already written, I promise you, and it's magical. It's the chapters that still read between now and this ending that you are still working to create and write. So grab hold of your faith. Grab hold of your beliefs and get busy working on your dreams. But like any of you, I too doubt myself more often than I care to admit. Life can get hard, and the voices of the many working in chorus to remind you you're not good enough, or a failure, or just not needed anymore can rattle around in your head and in your heart, making it difficult to live and breathe, let alone endure and thrive. And the more you try, the more you put yourself out there, and the more you accomplish, the more people will be waiting for and yearning for your eventual fall. Know this. Embrace this. It's okay. Just let those burning arrows heading your way continue to fly. They're going to fly anyway, but just use them to light your path forward. That's all you can do. Norman Vincent Peale wrote a book, The Power of Positive Thinking, and it emphasizes the impact of belief on success. And one of the quotes I like out of this book is, believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. But with sound self-confidence, you can succeed. Peale emphasizes that belief in oneself is foundational to any success. It's the cornerstone of everything that we do. This self-belief serves as a driving force that propels you to act, even when faced with daunting challenges. This level of belief, especially when coupled with faith, forms a potent combination that can help you achieve your goals, regardless of the obstacles you may encounter. All right, right, real quick. There's something that I wanted to get out there, let everyone know listening to this podcast. It is available now. It is Eyes Wide, the Sales Guide #1. This is going to be 6 tips for mastering sales with new language and techniques. This is 6 of my very first hacks. And what I wanted to get into, something that a lot of people aren't doing, is bringing in information from other industries, not just whatever it is the industry you're doing, because being exceptional in sales requires more than just knowing your product. It involves mastering the language you use and learning from other industries to stand out from the competition. This guide will walk you through 6 key strategies to elevate your sales approach, making you not just good, but exceptional. DM me guide, the word guide, at EyesWideCP on Instagram, and I'll send you the link for download. All right, so what I wanted to get into now is about the challenges that are going to test your belief. I mean, as we discussed earlier, life can get difficult personally, professionally. There are challenges that can test your belief and faith. These are just failures, losses, setbacks. Life is not a straight line. There will be ups and downs every step of the way. But if by chance you haven't experienced any sort of loss or setback at this point in your life, I would say that you aren't pushing hard enough. Your goals and dreams are not nearly big enough because you aren't finding your personal and professional edges. I challenge you to identify a single noteworthy person that hasn't experienced a monumental setback. And just like how you view people on social media looking all glitzy and glammy, you're only seeing the very top of the iceberg above the water. And most of these people, if not all, the vast majority of whatever's going on in these people's lives, whatever setbacks they're enduring, whatever crap they're having to deal with, it's remaining below the underbelly that does not get talked about nearly as much. So everyone is getting tested. Make sure that you're getting tested. Again, if you're not experiencing setbacks, man, get out there. Try some things. Try some things big. You will fail, and you will need those failures. You will need those losses to power you through. I promise. Because when you are tested, how are you going to react? It is not about the test. It is about the reaction to the test. Do you quit or do you endure? Because it is in these tests that we will truly understand our commitments and our beliefs. But understand this. Without belief, there is no commitment. And you're going to need that commitment and faith during these tests, because that is what becomes the source of strength and motivation to carry on, to move forward, to proceed. Nelson Mandela once wrote, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Mandela's words illustrate how belief is tested in the face of fear and adversity. And this guy's life, for those of you that know, some of you may not know, but he spent 27 years of his life in prison. And he had to sustain a belief throughout that entire 27 years. He is a perfect testament of the power of unwavering belief in justice and equality. And this is a powerful example of how enduring belief can lead to monumental change and success, even in the most challenging circumstances. And then Nietzsche. We all love Nietzsche's quotes, but how many of us have really heard the words and let them sink in and hit home? And how many of us have actually reflected on these words? That which does not kill us makes us stronger. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. This perfectly depicts how challenges, while testing our beliefs, also strengthens it. He understood, like all of us should understand, the trials we face are not just obstacles, but opportunities to fortify our belief. When you have belief, you will emerge stronger and more resilient from the setbacks. And these setbacks will become less and less effective at stripping you of your motivation. Look, I am a person who hates to lose. I hate it. I'll throw over the fucking coffee table on game night if need be. But while I hate to lose, I'll let you in on a little secret. I love to get beat. I love knowing that in that particular moment in time, someone or something outplayed me, outprepared me, and caused me to dig deep, rethink, re-strategize, and come back stronger, more intelligent, and more inspired to win. While I hate the losses, and gosh damn it, I hate the losses, I give gratitude to the fuel they create for my fire inside. So how do we turn these negatives into positives? Or what examples do we have of turning negatives into positives? What role models do we have? Because belief must act as a catalyst for transforming these negative experiences into positive outcomes. Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison once had a quote, and I'll read it here. "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." You know, whatever you think of Thomas Edison, depending on the books that you read, he stole more than he came up with on his own, whatever. That's not what this topic of conversation is about. What Edison did understand is who he was and what he wanted to accomplish. And he was well aware of how he wanted to be remembered. Okay? And his journey as an inventor is often highlighted by his relentless pursuit of success, despite the countless failures. And his development of the electric light bulb is obviously the most famous example. But during this time, Edison faced thousands of unsuccessful attempts before finally creating a working model. And rather than viewing these attempts as failures, Edison saw each as a step closer to success, a process of elimination that brought him nearer to his goal. His belief in the value of perseverance and in the eventual success of his work was unwavering. Edison knew that belief, when unwavering, can lead to success regardless of the immediate outcome. This idea of an immediate outcome or immediate gratification, that's one of the biggest mindset shifts that need to occur in any of our paths, on any of our journeys and our approaches to self-actualization, self-maturation. Getting away from this idea of instant gratification is so important. It is so important. Learn to embrace the actual journey that you're on, not just making sure that you have instant feedback and gratification. Seek the feedback, but the gratification, let that go away. Because remember, the bigger the goals, the longer the delay to gratification, but the greater the satisfaction. As we come to the close of this very first podcast, I want to encourage each of you to reflect on your own challenges, your own difficulties, whatever tough things are going on in your life, and ask yourself, do I believe? If there is anything I want you to take away from this podcast and my words, it is that I no longer want you thinking of setbacks as negatives. I don't want you to ever again be punched in the face with a no or a loss or a miss or any other obstacle or bad thing that happens in your life without you pausing, taking it in, smiling, and saying, good. Thank you. Thank you for making me stronger, more galvanized, sharper, more capable, and more full of belief. Remember, you risk nothing by believing, no matter what happens, regardless of the outcome. If you believe, when you believe, you win. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been an absolute dream come true for me, and I hope you enjoyed the time as much as I did. Please subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you don't miss the next episode, and don't forget to tell your friends. Until next time, eyes wide. See everything. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.